Chocolate is actually really great for fat loss. And before your hands start getting cramps from typing on the YouTube comments about why I'm wrong, let me explain and maybe change your mind as well. Because honestly, this might be why your last 5 diets have failed. Most people don't fail a diet because of the foods that they eat or because they don't have the willpower to do it. They struggle with it and they fail these diets because they don't stick to the diet long enough to actually start seeing results. Imagine this, you've woke up one day determined that you want to get into shape for the summer, let's say. And from that point, you then start cutting out all of your favourite foods. You start cutting out chocolate, crisps, cake, alcohol, whatever it is. You just start sacking it all off. Nope, I don't want any more. Dave, don't offer me that biscuit again. I'm not eating it. Because you're following the generic advice that you've been taught since you were a kid. You know, just eat vegetables, eat something organic, eat cleanly, don't eat chocolate, don't eat any artificial shit or anything like that. So that's the advice that you stick to. You go from eating all the foods that you enjoy on the regular to then not eating at all and instead sustaining yourself on chicken, rice and sadness. Then a week later, cravings kick in, the food noise gets louder and louder and louder, and you just can't stand it anymore, especially when your friend from work comes in with a big bag of biscuits for their birthday and offer you one. I don't know why he's bringing biscuits, it's usually cake, but you get the idea. Someone comes in, offers you food, offers you cake, and you feel your fingers twitch and you just think, oh, go on then, just one. Before you know it, you deep throat in a packet of bourbons harder than Bonnie Blue. And then you just give up because dieting is too hard. You want the foods that you want to enjoy. You don't want to restrict yourself. You don't want to sacrifice it and you don't think this weight loss ting is worth it. So you just stop. And what you need to understand is that you weren't failing because of calories. You were failing because you were trying to be too restrictive and too sacrificial, because you removed every ounce of joy from your life when trying to lose weight. I mean, sure, you were probably in a calorie deficit when you cut everything out, that's granted, but you also wanted to slam your face into a stalagmite. And if that's how you feel when you do anything, not just dieting, but anything, then I guarantee you won't stick to it for too long. Fat loss doesn't come from suffering or putting yourself through incredibly hard weeks and hard days. It comes from consistency. Sure, it's probably going to take you out of your comfort zone a little bit, and you're probably going to do things that you wouldn't have done before, such as cut down on the chocolate, cut down on the high calorie foods and eat more low calorie satiating foods. But that doesn't mean that you've got to cut these foods out completely, because if you cut it out completely, it's probably not going to be sustainable. And if it's not sustainable, you're not going to stick to it long enough to actually start seeing results. So therefore, if you had a way to include your favourite foods, such as chocolate, such as crisps, such as cake, into your diet to make it more sustainable, then technically, doesn't that mean that chocolate is quite a valuable asset to your diet? In my opinion, yeah, it does. Chocolate is an asset if included correctly. So here's what you do. At the start of the day, you are going to identify the food in question which you crave or which you enjoy the most. This could be chocolate, but it could be anything else. It could be a pint of beer, it could be cake, it could be biscuits, it could be whatever the fuck you want it to be. Just identify it. Then you're going to track it. The first thing that you do in the day is track that food. You're not going to eat it yet though. What you are going to do is you're going to manage the rest of your calories around it. So let's say you track a chocolate bar which is 250 calories and your target is 2,000 calories. You're then going to try and navigate 1,750 calories over the course of the rest of the day, because that's 2,000 take 250. Try and manage the rest of your calories around that food that you track first, so eat 1,750 over the course of the day. Then at the end of the day, you are going to eat the food in question. You're going to eat the food that you tracked. You're going to enjoy it guilt-free because you allowed yourself to eat it. Then you're going to repeat that every single day. Now, there's going to be 2 benefits for doing that. Firstly, you're going to remove restriction from your diet, which means that you're not going to feel like shit. And secondly, you're going to remove guilt as well, because you're allowing yourself to eat the food in question despite what society tells you. You're still going to be in a calorie deficit, which means that you're still going to be losing fat. You're still going to be progressing, which means that you're going to get results. But the killer difference is that you're not going to be miserable. And let's be honest, if a cheeky chocolate bar is the difference between you sticking to a diet or not, then I'd argue that chocolate is doing way more good than harm. And that is my justification for why chocolate, when implemented correctly, or any kind of high calorie food, has its own place within the fat loss world and can be a valuable asset if it just means that you stick to your diet more. Fat loss isn't about banning foods, it's about navigating around these foods instead. It's about navigating around the high calorie, low satiating foods. It's about eating 80% of the foods that you eat being beneficial, satiating, low in calories, high in protein, and the other 20% being just because they taste good and for adherence-based reasons. So if chocolate does help you stay consistent, then yeah, chocolate is beneficial for fat loss. Fucking fight me. If you like this video, please make sure that you give it a like, because what it will do is it will push this kind of video to other people like you who might need similar advice. If you want any more no bullshit fat loss advice, then make sure that you follow my Instagram at k.p_health, or subscribe to this channel to check out any future content. And if you want some more in-depth personalised advice on how we can get you into the best shape possible without anything wanky, anything restrictive, and without making you feel like shit, then here's what I want you to do. I want you to follow the link in the description below, fill the form out, and I'll be in touch with you personally to show you how exactly I and the KP method can help you do that. In the meantime, have a good one. Take care.